Yeah, welcome to the Media Bootcamp. What I do is I not only teach and train and mentor small and medium-sized businesses in, best practice of social media. I'm really passionate about sharing my knowledge, and I invented the bootcamp concept, which is a kind of training session where I give a presentation about latest development, and then I split up the groups into different media bootcamp stations, where they have to run through different stations and do the exercises themselves. And these media bootcamps are sponsored by the City of Gold Coast. I run them in different suburbs. I run them for different industries. I'm going to hold a media bootcamp for non-for-profit organizations, charities, and multicultural community groups at the end of this month. If you're interested to participate, it's free of charge. As I said, it's sponsored by the City of Gold Coast. Talk to me and we can reserve a seat for you. I've also developed a couple of books. Two I would like to present today. I will probably just give them around. These books are workbooks that will help you as a business owner to develop your own social media policy and social media strategy. And in my presentation today, I will talk about the latest development in social media in Australia. I will give you insights from the latest surveys that were just finished in September on a national basis. And I will also talk to you why a social media strategy and policy are really, really important. You can buy these books online as a download, as an ebook, or you can get a printed version. If you're interested, just let me know. Okay, so you heard a bit about me already. My name is Sonja Cerj. I'm a journalist by trade. And I came to Australia because of the global financial crisis. As I said, or as Melissa said in the introduction, in the early 2000s, a lot of magazines and newspapers went progressively online. That was the first shift in my career. But then during the global financial crisis, a lot of media outlets actually went bankrupt. So there was not much of a career for me anymore, and I thought before I hit the big 30, I do something completely different. I'm a passionate surfer, so it was logically for me to try living in Australia, and I love it. Please feel free to connect with me on Facebook and other social media channels. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, and once you found me there, you see on which other channels I am. I've also got a website, themediabootcamp.org, and as I said, it's more an educational business rather than selling packages here. Of course, what I do is everything around online marketing. So I develop apps, microsites, websites, social media strategies and concepts. I do community management, social media campaigns, social advertisement, and copywriting. I also coach and mentor and consult. So it's really important to understand that there's a big difference in coaching and mentoring. When I mentor, like I'm a mentor at the Gold Coast Startup Weekend, at the Silicon Lakes Startup Incubator, you actually just guide people. They have all the answers in themselves, and you just pull their teeth. When I coach people or I consult them, I actually tell them the best practice and how it's going to work fast and quick. So that is the distinction between mentoring and coaching. I also offer small business owners and medium-sized business owners to outsource to me social media or copywriting. And why am I doing that? As you heard in the introduction, I call myself a digital native. I'm actually an immigrant. I'm from Germany. But you are the immigrants. It's provocative. I'm a digital native. I live and breathe all kinds of technologies. I had my first computer I was 5, and I started coding with 5. I had access to the internet in 1996 actually, and I'm living and breathing all these technologies. All the generations that are coming after me, which I call Generation Slide, because they grow up with iPads and iPhones and they just slide their way through the online world. They will even live a more passionate online life. They have multiple online identities, and they are pretty much connected to everyone they know in the online world. So this is how a digital native thinks about themselves. No, you weren't downloaded, you were born. And it's really, really important for everyone who wants to be successful in the online world to connect to so-called digital natives. If you have children, just ask them, you know, how's this functionality working, and where do I upload things, and where's this and that button, and they will give you the looks, because for them it's so natural. They are on social media 24/7. In fact, this generation slide is waking up and checking their Snapchat in the morning, while people, you know, 25 to 35, they wake up and they check their emails in the morning. And probably everyone above 35 maybe checks their text messages in the morning. So different demographics use technologies in different ways. So what has actually changed? Nowadays we can talk about the Web 2.0, which is basically a social space in the online world. So before the Web 2.0, logically there was the Web 1.0, which is basically a world of, or a network of static websites where people had their information up. And the social space has changed the world in regards to how we produce and how we consume information. So in the Web 2.0, all users equally produce and consume and distribute. I call these people producer or producer. And I don't know if you heard about the gatekeeper function, but as a journalist, the gatekeeper, or I as a journalist, was always the gatekeeper in the newsroom. So people, organizations, if they want to publicize an announcement, they were sending a press release to the gatekeeper, which means to my newsroom. We would decide, based on different criteria of newsworthiness, what we are going to print and distribute. We would distribute it through mass media, and eventually it would reach out to your stakeholders. What has changed through the social web is you as an organization, you as an organization, you will distribute yourself your information and news into the social space, which is basically mass media, where producers will pick it up based on their own criteria of newsworthiness and share it with their peer group. So that's why I provocatively say the traditional gatekeeper function is actually obsolete. It's not really, really important to write good press releases anymore if we can harness the power of other media outlets. And this is what I call the audience gatekeeping. So what has changed in terms of marketing? As a traditional brand, in traditional terms of advertisement and media, we had one consistent message that we pushed out to our target groups. We were in control of it, what's said about us, about how we are perceived, and basically our branding. So what has changed now? You're pushing out multiple coherent ideas into a web of media or online channels, and you're uniting your target audience on different channels based on their own criteria of newsworthiness. What's the advantage? It's definitely much, much cheaper to publicize your branding and your marketing messages in the 21st century through the social web, but you also can harness the power of peer sharing. And we never had this phenomena before. So what has changed? People are using social media 24/7, and we use it multiple times per day. And as you can see, these numbers are the average numbers of time people open their Facebook or use their Facebook. I was giving this presentation yesterday to a very young audience, and they were shocked because they're using Facebook probably 25 times a day, not per week. Yeah, so it basically means how often do they open and use Facebook per week based on different locations. And as you can see, the generation, the younger generation, they grew up with it. They wake up in the morning and they check their Facebook. This generation is the generation that invented Facebook. So we have our calendars connected, and pretty much all our life is connected through Facebook. And what's interesting is, as older the demographic, as more peer pressure is on them to use it. So my father, he's like actually there, 73, and his daughter is living 16,000 k's away on the other side of the world. So he had to sign up to Facebook to see what I'm actually doing all day, because I'm not sending him an email every morning with the latest pictures. So as older the people get, the more peer pressure is there to use social media. In other words, you can reach out to any kind of demographic through social media. And we are using it constantly, and of course we use it before work and after work, and sometimes in the lunchtime, depending on the industry you're working on. What's interesting as well is people use social media while they're commuting, which basically means in metropolitan area, public transport. So, and where technology is developing is, we will have in the next 12 to 18 months wearable devices, Google Glasses, the smartwatch, and even in our car window we have a display where we can, check our emails and so on and so on. This is a short-term development. So I've already seen people with the smartwatch on the Gold Coast, which is basically a watch that has a little iPhone integrated and social sharing platforms and whatnot. But what actually happens is, we collected as a marketer, we collected so much big data about every single person in this room over the last couple of years. Services like Facebook and Google, they offer their services for free, but for a reason, because they collect data. What happens now with the short-term developments of Google Glasses or wearable devices is, we can actually tap a step further into your private life. We can measure your heartbeat and your heart rate while you're opening your Facebook and reading a certain post from a certain person. So you just need to spin that a little bit further. But the data we are going to collect about everyone in the near future opens a lot of more opportunities for brands and businesses like yourself. So in terms of when are you going to post on social media, before, after work, and during lunchtime, unless you have a very different target group. So what are we doing on social media? Yes, we are connecting to people. And as you can see, and I mentioned that before, young people connect to pretty much everyone they know in the real life online. And as older you get, the less friends you have. No, just kidding. The less important it is to see, every baby burp. You just connect to the, closest relatives probably, or closest friends. And people using social media on different devices. And there's a huge shift towards mobile devices. And there will be a huge shift, and I can't stress that enough, towards wearable devices or fashionable accessories that have a computer function. So what's interesting is the tablet, the iPad that was really hyped, is actually not that popular. The smartphone is the most important device for users, social media users, which also means that you and each one of you has to check their own website. Is it actually mobile friendly? Because people leave social media and come to your website, and if your website is not optimized, they lose interest. And why are we using social media? Yes, we want to catch up with family and friends. The younger generation is also really crazy about farming and harvesting online. They play social games. A very popular one is Farmville. And 20% of all social media users also use these tools to research about products and services. and specific brands. And this is where you come into the game. You really need to capture these 20% who are open for your offers, for your products, for your services, for your events. And what are people exactly looking for? I quickly run through that. They use social media to follow a particular brand or business because it has a cool factor probably. They research products and services, things you might want to buy, and on different social media channels people spend a different amount of money. Pinterest is the highest converting and the highest trafficking social media site. An average Pinterest user spends $180 on a purchase. So these are the hottest leads in the social media sphere. So if you have a product to sell that you can visualize, but even if you have a service and you can, create a little thing around it, a little graphic, you need to be on Pinterest. That's where people buy. 180. So on Facebook, the average Facebook user spends around $80. And if Facebook was a country, it would be the third largest country in the world after China and India. I think it's 1.8 billion people by now. And by 2020, or 2025 the latest, the whole world, 8 billion people, will be connected in some way through wearable devices or mobile devices. So this opens a completely new level of consciousness and collective collaborating for the world. So what people also do is they research holiday destinations and travel offers. So if you're in the retail, in retail, hospitality, or in travel, you really need to learn social selling. And it comes with no surprise that people trust recommendations and reviews of their peer groups. So this is why blogs, reviews and recommendations are really important. If you want to reach out to a C-level executive, forget all social media channels, focus only on blogs. That's the best advice I can give to you. Because as higher the people are in their career, the less time they spend actually on social media. And what do consumers want? Well, we follow a brand or a business because there might be something in it for us. And of course we want something cheaper or for free. The higher or the more expensive your product or service is, the more product info we need and the more tips and advices we need. And yes, we use social media more and more for event information as well, and to get a better understanding about the company that is trying to sell something to us. So why do businesses use social media? They understand the power of reviews and recommendations, and this is why they invite their users to leave recommendations on social media sites. They also understand these times of a one-way communication process are definitely over. So they need to be in a dialogue with their clients and prospective clients. And they also understand they need to offer incentives. It comes with no surprise that the larger the business, the more effort they can spend on social media. Medium-sized and large businesses have a whole marketing department, so they most likely have a social media officer. But more and more businesses, small businesses, take advantage of the recent development in the digital sphere. And which social networks are Australian businesses actually using? Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, blogs, and YouTube. And I just want to say one thing about Google+, because I get this question all the time. There is this rumor that if you have a Google+ account, your ranking will increase. I don't know where people got that from. It's not proven. Google+ is the biggest competitor to Facebook. Google against Facebook. So Google wants you to move on their social media platform so they can collect more big data about you. That is the only reason why it is so hyped and popular. On Google Plus, what I've seen in the last 3 years, they are mainly tech people, techie people, startups, tech companies. I don't see why a small business owner should use it at all. Just my 2 cents. But what everyone should look into is blogging. Give your business advice away. Let people know who's behind your business and what kind of knowledge you can share with prospective clients.
Why do you not have Pinterest on that list?
Because it's not popular amongst Australian small businesses.
But we should be?
Yeah, it should be. So everyone who has a product or service that can be visualized in some way should be on Pinterest. Absolutely. Yeah.
So I was going to question related to that. You were saying that has ties perfectly.
Yeah.
Is it, like I have a Pinterest account, and because there's no shop built into it, so the only way you do it would be to post a product with a link back to your website, is that right?
So what you actually do is you install a little pin button in your browser, and then you go to your website where you probably have a store, and you pin it from there straight to your Pinterest account. So it actually appears with a price tag on Pinterest. And then when people click on the picture, they are directed back to your...
Done from your website as opposed to...
Yeah, but vice versa. You can go also to Pinterest, upload a picture from your website. Yeah. So don't download it and upload it. You have to type in the URL of the specific product in your shop. Yeah. So it streams back all the information into your Pinterest account. Yeah. And don't forget to use hashtags, but we will come to that later. So how often should you update your social media channels? It's pretty simple, every day. Because what you need to understand is Facebook in particular is not a social media platform anymore. It is a very complex search engine, and it is an advertising platform. If you want to beat the search engine, you either have to learn how to beat an algorithm, which consists of thousands of different criteria. So what I mean with that is if you post something on your fan page, don't expect that it will appear in everyone's news feed. Because if everything that everyone in our peer group would post would appear in my news feed, I would need to read 1,500 posts per day. So Facebook is filtering information that might be more interesting to us based on the relationship we have in our network. So if I've indicated you're a family member or my closest friend, it's very likely that your post will appear in my Facebook newsfeed. But if you're just a brand that I've liked once and I've never been back to that page, you will not appear in my news stream. But if you're consistently there, someone might pick it up and share. And the level of engagement helps to beat the algorithm. So the more people like, share, and comment on your newsfeed, the longer your post lives. That means if I post something on Friday and I have a really high engagement rate, my post can still appear on Mondays in other people's newsfeed. So engagement is the key. So medium-sized businesses post every day, and so do large businesses, but as I said, they have most likely a whole marketing department, and what they've also done is they developed a strategy and a policy, and in fact you can automate a lot in social media. To ensure that you're consistently, which means every day, on social media, you really need to look into automation tools. And there are a lot of them outside, like Hootsuite, Hootsuite is one. There's Buffer, Buffer. There are a lot of automation tools you can use for free, even as a small business owner. And also you need to let the world know that you use social media. So put your social media links on your business card, on every kind of marketing collateral you are developing. Everywhere you go, you ask people to like you on Facebook or wherever you are. You really need to let the world know that you're using social media. Sorry. And as I said, social media, and especially Facebook, is not only a very complex search engine, it is an advertising platform. So to help you promoting and boosting your posts, you can spend a certain amount of money on these platforms. And of course, it's in a lot of channels' interest that you spend more money there. Even Instagram is a photo sharing platform. It's a native integration into Facebook because it has been bought by Facebook for $1 billion recently. Even they are rolling out advertisements. So does Pinterest. So all these cool tech startups developing social media channels all the time. At the beginning, they're for free to develop a cool factor, and then after time, they need to commercialize, they need to monetize their channels. That means they make it harder and harder for business owners as we are to get through to our target audience without spending money. So everyone really should explore social advertisement. Facebook is introducing even video advertisements soon, which will be unaffordable at the beginning for us, but there might be potential down the track. Well, and this is how much social or business owners are spending on social media, and what you can see in 2012, businesses, it didn't matter of which size, spent a lot of money on social media, and now it's actually declining. So what happened is, when I came to Australia in 2011, I met a lot of small business owners who haven't even heard about Twitter. In 2012, Australia was hit by a wave to, really use and harness the power of social media, and a lot of people got into social advertisement as well, saying that the algorithm was not well developed, so it was much easier to push your advertising through to your target audience. Now a lot of brands have built up their momentum, they've built up their audience, and they don't see the necessity of spending so much money, but they're still spending. And of course, the bigger you are, the more people you can reach. Saying that, the advantage of social advertisement is everything can be tracked. How many people have seen your ad, how many people have clicked, how many people came to your website, and how many people have bought. You will never have the same metrics if you're advertising in a magazine, for example. You never know how many people have actually bought it, how many people have actually seen it, and how many people came back to your website. You will never have these metrics. So, well, you can't really read it. Basically, it says every marketing dollar you spend needs to be tracked and needs to have a return of investment. And the return of investment is a very controversial topic in social media, because how do you measure return of investment of the relationships you have built? And that's why we're going into social media in the first place. We want to build genuine relationship to our prospective clients, but also our existing customers. And how do you really measure the return of investment? Of course, as I said, you can track every advertisement you did, and you can track how much time you've spent and how much engagement you had, and you can make assumptions. I personally don't feel that a small business owner needs to do all this ROI calculation. What you really need to focus on is to strengthen the relationships and then take your customers offline. And what I mean by that is, who owns all your fans and followers? The social media platform. So what if Facebook shuts down tomorrow? You will lose all these contacts. So what you actually need to do is to convert them at least into email subscribers or blog subscribers, or get in contact with them and ask them, can I subscribe them? Can I subscribe you to my blog or my email database? If you're using MailChimp, Aweber, or any other email marketing program, there are native integrations into social media. So you can have actually a little tab in Facebook where people can opt in. So you can politely ask your fans to opt in. So you can bombard them with more marketing. Build a relationship, exactly. So people or business owners believe the more they spend, or if they spend, if they invest in social media, they will get more out of it in terms of sales. And it doesn't surprise anyone, I guess. Well, and a lot of small business owners are very confident that they need to further harness the power of social media, be further there, increase their profile, and that social media will help them with growing their business. So the biggest 3 mistakes I normally see with my social media clients is they have no strategy, they have no goals, and they have no monitoring platforms. So a lot of people use social media because it's easy, it's free, we can sign up. We know probably the functionalities or the basic functionalities of many social media platforms, and we just go intuitively into them. We set up our company page and then we start posting intuitively. But that doesn't work because we don't use social media the way in business, the way we would do it privately. So it's really, really important that you get very clear on why am I using it and what do I want to get out of it. And what I'm going to do with you now is, how much time do I have left? Okay. This is the ecosystem I spoke previously about. So in the Web 1.0 world, we just had a website, a static website with static content. Nothing would change. People would just go there and find our contact information and a little bit more about us. So what's happening now is we can develop so-called microsites for different purposes. So if I have a contest, I develop like a mini website that is not really embedded into our website, but it may have the same branding, but it has a different URL where I can lead traffic to, and people can do certain actions. We also need to be sure that our website is mobile friendly and tablet friendly. And then we're tapping into another ecosystem of social media channels. So we have Facebook, we have LinkedIn, we have Google+, we have Twitter, we have Google Alerts, we have the App Store. A lot of people have apps. We have Instagram, Pinterest, we have Vine, which is a native integration into Twitter. It's actually their video platform. We have email marketing, we have YouTube, and there are heaps of other social media channels that are not listed here. One social media channel you may want to check out is called Feed, P-H-E-E-D. It will be interesting to see where it's developing to. I believe it will be a very big competition to Instagram. It's a photo sharing platform. And one thing I normally teach my clients is people behave differently in different social media channels. I normally say LinkedIn is the boardroom and Facebook is the pub. And you will find the same behavior and the same language in these channels. On LinkedIn, we all have a professional picture and we have our resume up there and we talk sophisticatedly and very respectful. While on Facebook, we sit in our jumpers or PJs on the couch and we just like and, baby blurbs, the burps. So you find different behaviors in different social media channels, which also means for you as a business, you need to change your tone from a formal tone on LinkedIn into an informal tone. And different kind of inputs have different kinds of outcomes. So why are we feeding all these channels is because we find our real target group there and we can build real relationships. But we also build backlinks, and we have different backlinks, means people linking back to our website, which actually strengthens our SEO, our search engine optimization again. We can support that search engine optimization by doing SEM, which is search engine marketing. And we can offer different content like ebooks or podcasts or stuff people can download to convert again these people into email subscribers. So this is the most important thing, building relationships and then converting them into prospects, into our sales funnel. So you have to ask yourself, what kind of assets do you have available in your company? Do you have a writer? Do you have experts in your area? Do you have pictures? Do you know someone who can take pictures? Can you have an account on iStock Photos to buy pictures? Do you have business videos, or do you know someone who has business videos? The biggest challenge for my social media clients is to produce constantly that amount of content for faces they don't know yet. And you need to figure out what are actually your goals in social media. Why are you there? Do you use social media for lead generation or for e-commerce? Do you want to convert people into your email database, or do you want feedback or recruit more volunteers? What is it actually that you want to do? And you need to measure these goals. And this is a template I'm using in my social media book. You have possible goals, and what is it actually that you want to achieve? So put a number next to it. I want to have 10,000 fans on Facebook by the end of the year. That is a measurable goal. And if you reach that goal by 75% maybe, it's still a really, really good achievement. But you need to, if you want to measure engagement, you need to be very specific. What do you want to measure? The amount of time they're spending on my site, the amount of time they watch the video, so on and so on. If you want to measure engagement, you might want to consider how many comments you want underneath a blog post. So you have to step it into a new ecosystem called the blogosphere, where bloggers and freelance writers are working. And then you have to develop a strategy. And the strategy is actually really simple. You have a goal, you know this purpose, you know what you want to measure, and you define your success. And if you do exactly that for the next quarter, it will be so much easier to define what kind of content you're going to post. And define who you really, really, really want to reach. You know, and what does this target audience actually know about you? So different people you want to reach have different purposes. You know, newsletter readers have you know, different interests than staff alumni or you know, past volunteers. So specify your marketing message for different target audiences. And I can't stress enough that you really need to do your hashtag research. For everyone who doesn't know what a hashtag is, it's basically a keyword, and you put a route symbol in front of it, and it becomes a clickable link. So if you go on Facebook, Google+, LinkedIn, Twitter, and you hashtag a keyword, and you click enter, a new newsfeed will pop up, and it will show you exactly everyone in that social media channel that's using that same keyword and is talking about the same keyword. So if you hashtag parenting, click enter, you will see probably a list of so many people who might be interested in your products or services, or have different, you know, or same problems or whatever, just as an example. And there are websites where you can research hashtag trends, and there are certain hashtags you can always use again. The hashtag love, for example, is used 19 million times a month. So if you have something to say about love, you can reach out to 19 million people for free. And you might want to use a hashtag for your own company, hashtag empowered moms or hashtag media bootcamp. And you have to see what hashtags your competitors are using. And then, again, back to your content. You have different kind of content with no risk that you're giving for free, and you have low risk offers where people have to opt in to download something. And as you can see, social media is just a little part of your whole sales funnel. Basically, you know, prospects get in there and they follow this funnel, and in the end they buy. And this is the reason why we're doing social media and why we're developing all this content. So if once you've developed your policy and once you've developed your social media strategy, it comes to the implementation part. How many hours per week can you allocate towards your social media? You can use automation tools. I recommend 2 hours per week per channel. But this includes content creation, the content scheduling, posting, replying, commenting, and sharing. So this is the reason why you shouldn't be on every channel. Choose the channel that you think are best for you. So this is what I'm doing. I offer outsourcing from social media. I manage everything social media for you on every channel you are for $280 a month. I think no one can beat that. I can do also all your blogging, as I'm a copywriter by trade, and I also do your email marketing if you want me to do that. You can also book me for social media training. these are my packages again. If you want to, you can access this slide later to see my packages again. And you can also book me for corporate training or personal training. And this is how you can reach me. Thank you for your attention.